In Whose Name might seriously be one of the most important projects we've ever seen from Kanye West in a very long time, and just rap in general. Now, for those guys that don't know by now, a few days ago, a brand new film and documentary called In Whose Name dropped in theaters, which basically showcases Kanye West's life in the later years of his career from around 2016 to 2024. And this thing is truly one of the most important projects of Kanye West's career and just the rap game and the entire music industry in general. Now, the way this documentary was made was very interesting, with us seeing Kanye West documented and followed by a 16-year-old kid, Nico, at the time, where he basically captured every single year of Kanye West's life from around 2016 to 2024, and us just being really able to see how Kanye West's mind was each year and why he became the man he is today. And what really separates this documentary to every other documentary we have seen before in our lifetime is that this one feels very raw, original, and organic, and it doesn't seem big budgeted or too overly scripted like every other documentary that has came out in the past 30 years, with us really being able to get a real raw insight of Kanye West's life highs and lows. And the coolest part about this is that this wasn't a documentary where Kanye, was just getting spied on from time to time. And that's how a lot of documentaries are, where the artists are not really noticing the camera. This one felt like Kanye wanted to be documented. And we do know that is rare, because the last documentary that came out in 2022 on Netflix, Genius, Kanye did not approve of that documentary. So for him to invite this one in, and for him to basically be the orchestrator of this documentary, because in the very beginning of the film, he ends up saying, I want to do this documentary because I want to showcase my mental health. I just find it really cool how authentic it was and how Kanye was really in on this documentary and was also a part of getting it out to the world. And now I will definitely say that this is not a documentary for everyone, and it is not an easy watch due to the fact of how real it gets. Now, at times we do get an insight of how Kanye West's mental health is regarding his bipolar, with a lot of scenes in this movie being very shocking to see how Kanye West can just spaz out in people and just totally lose his mind at times. For example, there's a scene where he's talking to Kris Jenner in his mansion. I believe this is around 2018 at the time, and he just starts getting into an argument, and you'd think everything is going to be normal, but then he just completely ends up spazzing out. Or another scene which is going viral on the internet right now, where it's Kanye West basically talking to Kim Kardashian and her family in Uganda, and they get into another argument, and then Kanye West just starts jumping up in the air, acting like not even human, and he just starts yelling like a little kid on a temper tantrum. And this is hard to watch for sure, definitely. And now I do see a lot of people basically saying that this documentary backfired on Kanye, because Kanye wanted this documentary to be shown to the world for us to have empathy for him. But in my personal opinion, that's just kind of stupid. And in my opinion, I don't think Kanye necessarily wanted us to see him in a good light, or he wanted us to have sympathy for him. I simply think that Kanye wanted this documentary to be out to the world to really understand what he goes through and how bad his mental health could be. And now, for everybody that doesn't specifically know, Kanye West has said multiple times he has been diagnosed with bipolar. And while you can obviously take medication for it and become, a lot better and have your brain adjusted, Kanye has said multiple times, including in this documentary, that every time he's felt medicated, he feels that he's not creative. He feels like he's slumped. He feels like he's just not there. So in this documentary, we specifically see him at a point where he just says, screw this shit. I'm not taking my meds. I'm not going to take what they want me to take because I want to be creative. And funny enough, we end up seeing that at times in this documentary, where when Kanye is off of his meds, he's actually working, he's grinding, he's traveling, he's not sleeping, he's creating multiple albums at once, and he's really locked in. And I feel like watching this definitely leaves the viewer in a complicated situation to either side with or disagree, because at the same time, we see Kanye West doing temper tantrums and getting crazy, at certain people, and a lot of people are like, damn, if he took his meds, he wouldn't be acting like this. But then you always got to remember, it's Kanye, and he's done all these extraordinary things, when it comes to culture and music and literature and fashion, but that's always when he's unmedicated. So it puts you in that type of position where it's like, I don't really know what he should do. Because if he takes his meds, it's better for everybody around him, but it's not better for probably the world in general because we wouldn't get as good art. But if he does take his meds, then he'll probably chill out and not say the crazy things he says, but then we wouldn't get the great art that he puts out. And I feel like this documentary really places that question on the viewer as to what do they think. And I am seeing some people try to compare this movie with the Genius documentary that came in 2022. But honestly, I think that's stupid because for starters, the Genius documentary that came out on Netflix in 2022, that was a trilogy with 3 episodes. So that's just going to be naturally longer than the In Whose Name, which was a film. And not to mention, they're 2 completely different type of documentaries, right? Genius is very overproduced with, Cody behind the camera narrating it, and he was able to edit shit out and put stuff in and all of that, versus In Whose Name, it's shorter, it's not highly edited, and we just get full raw Kanye clips. It's nobody narrating, it's nobody taking things out, taking bad things out. We're able to see Kanye in his good light and his bad light, and Genius just doesn't do that. And along with that, both documentaries are 2 completely different eras of Kanye. I mean, Genius shows a younger Kanye when he was on the come up, when he was grinding, when he was hustling, and it primarily focuses on his musical career, versus In Whose Name does the opposite of that. It shows us an older Kanye that has been through the industry, and it focuses more on Kanye's personal life and what he goes through as a human being rather than his music and what his career really did. And with Whose Name getting a lot of hate, the film is surprisingly doing really good and can be the start of Kanye West's redemption arc, because it has just been confirmed a few hours ago by the Rolling Stone that In Whose Name is one of the best performing documentaries we've ever seen in theater history, with it making over $700,000 in the box office, and that is better than any documentary has done in the last 10 years that has came out. And with In Whose Name already seeing box office success like this, with it not even being a full week of it being in theaters, this would then classify the movie to be the #1 documentary in the entire United States of America. And not to mention, but on Rotten Tomatoes, the film currently has a 87% rating, which is absolutely crazy when you put into perspective that most people hate Kanye, that he's the most canceled person on earth right now. So to get an 87% rating on Rotten Tomato and have $700,000 coming in from the box office, not even a week in when the film is out, definitely says that the hype for Kanye is alive, and he's not canceled like people say he is, man. He's really not. Nonetheless, though, what do you guys think about Kanye West's brand new film, In Whose Name? Did you guys rock with it? Did you guys not? I personally think that it was a great way of showing Kanye West in the lens of who he really is and his mental health. Do you guys think that this film is just not good and it paints Kanye in a bad way? Do you guys think that it was not needed? We didn't need it in the first place? Let me know. Make sure you guys comment, like, subscribe, hype up the video. Let me know, guys.